Hi, everyone. Welcome. We're going to give everyone just a few seconds to start hopping on here. So I know a lot of you are just joining from the waiting room. So yeah, just give us a few moments here and then we will jump right into the content. Thanks for being here. Yeah, we definitely still have some people joining, so we'll just give it a few more seconds. Okay. Still trickling in, so next time I'll bring a comedy routine, but okay. We are going to go ahead and just get started. So, hi everyone, and welcome to the Turning Event Data into Gold webinar. Thank you all for joining. I know you guys have a busy schedule, so we appreciate you being here. Today, we're going to explore how to turn your meetings and conferences into valuable buyer insights. By understanding attendee sentiments, objectives, and preferences, we're going to show you how to leverage those insights into opportunities for growth and business success. My name's Alex Charney, and I'm going to be your host today. Today's session is going to focus on event professionals like yourselves who understand the power of event data and are looking to drive greater business outcomes from their events. Before we start, I did just want to go over a few quick housekeeping items. Number one, there will be a Q&A session at the end of the webinar. So if you have any questions along the way, feel free to pop those into the chat. We'll do our best to answer them at the end, but if we don't get to them all, we will reach out to you with an answer afterwards. So nobody panic. Number two, we'll make this recording available to you after the webinar. So if you miss anything, you can always watch it back later and you can, of course, share with your colleagues. And finally, if you would like a one-on-one demo of Touchpoint Ignite, our AI-powered event app, you can type the word Ignite into the chat or fill out a form on our website and we will get in touch. Joining us today is Christina Rasco. She is the CEO of Attendee Management. Christina has over 20 years of experience in the event industry, so she has very much seen it all. From tackling tough client challenges and streamlining attendee registration processes, she shaped hundreds of event sites and created thousands of seamless registration experiences. Her expertise allows event planners to focus on their strengths, knowing that their registration process is in capable hands. Christina, thanks so much for joining me today. We're very excited to have you.
Thanks, Alex. It's a pleasure to be here.
Before we dive into the webinar, can you tell us just a little bit about Attendee Management?
I'd love to. We're a registration services agency that specializes in event technology. Our services span the full attendee registration experience throughout the entire event lifecycle. So we develop event sites and registration forms. We do ongoing participant support, mobile apps, on-site badging and registration management, and we take it all the way through to the end to final reporting and data analysis. We work with large multinational corporations, small independent planners, and everyone in between. The value we provide to our clients is the ability to bring a team of experts in to help make the registration process a seamless experience for both attendees and for the event teams that are behind the scenes.
Great, thank you. So Certain and AMI have partnered together for many years, and I will say with confidence that there are very few companies who get the customer experience, and Attendee Management is definitely one of them. Could you tell us a little bit about this partnership and what it kind of looks like from your perspective?
Thanks, Alex. That's quite a compliment. So we're experts in event tech so that our clients don't have to be. What we aren't event experts is being an event technology company. So we don't develop the technology at all. And that makes Certain a vital partner for us in our business model. Thanks to our partnership with Certain, we can provide a robust and flexible tech stack to our customers without actually having to develop that technology ourselves. We like to say we're the bridge between our clients and the event technology. And part of that strength of that bridge comes from working with a company like Certain, who's always innovating in the event tech space and bringing us new products and things that we can offer our clients. So we really appreciate the partnership. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for being the bridge for us. So let's dive into the agenda for today's discussion. First up, we're going to look at why your event data is considered gold. Christina is going to guide us through the importance of event data and explain how it can drive business outcomes. Next, we're going to share 7 ways to boost and measure the business impact of your event programs. We'll then go over how AI impacts data collection and analysis. And finally, we'll wrap up with that Q&A session that I mentioned at the beginning. We are going to hop on a quick poll right now so we get a sense of where everyone is in their event journey. 3 questions should have just popped up on your screen, so we're going to give you a few seconds to respond to those. Question number 1 is, what type of attendee engagement do you include at your events? So it's a multiple choice question. Question number 2 is, what are your event goals? And question number 3 is, what type of events do you put on? So we'll give you a few seconds to answer those, and then we'll hop back into the webinar. A few more seconds here. Okay. Thank you guys for responding to the poll questions. I do want to point out that this is an excellent example of how to capture data from your attendees at every stage of the event. By gathering insights at every touch point, you can develop a really comprehensive understanding of your audience and ultimately transform that data into valuable insights. Let's kick us off with an eye-opening stat here. According to a recent study by Profile Tree, 60% of event tech users believe that data is the new gold. Today, marketing success revolves around 2 pivotal terms: personalization and engagement. At the core of these lies this concept of buyer intent signals. We can easily turn events into powerful tools for engagement, growth, and success. Christina, could you weigh in?
Yeah, I'd love to. It's simple. Data drives decisions, and that's what makes it gold. And what is registration event technology really, but just a means to collect that data? Now, of course, event data is more than just understanding the attendee experiences. Your event data provides an incredibly powerful insight into your buyers. You can learn so much about the customer by delving into their sentiments, their objectives, product needs, and preferences. And that allows you to spot key signals that guide them to the next step in their journey, whether that's making a purchase, getting the most out of your product, or maybe even registering for your next event. The real value of events resides in the wealth of opportunities they offer to engage and better understand your attendees. For example, what topics are most important to them? What information are they looking for? And ultimately, how can you close the sale and turn them into customers or continue a relationship with them that you already have? As you go through the event, integrating all the information you capture into your MarTech stack is going to allow you to act on insights and drive measurable business results.
Okay, so now that we understand the importance of data collection and analysis, we're going to dive into really the heart of this webinar, which is 7 strategies to boost and measure the business impact of your event programs.
Okay, so we know that event data is important. We just talked about that, right? But you might be asking, I've collected all this data from my events. How am I going to make sense of it all? Well, with the right event technology, you can transform that data from your entire event portfolio into actionable insights. And that's what we're going to go over now. 7 strategies to help you achieve that. And of course, it all starts with collecting the right data. So number 1 is data collection. This starts early on in the process with registration, and it carries on throughout the entire event lifespan. Data collection is so much more than just demographics too. During events, you can use polls to collect data points and insights and sentiments that really matter to your event and what's going on and to your customers. Like, for instance, in one general session, we recently used touchpoint polling to get the audience to vote on what question they wanted the moderator to ask the speaker next. So this was like really engaging for both the audience, and the speaker got really into it as well. So that was really cool. And then at the same time, on the back end, we're getting valuable insight on what the audience, those customers in the audience, were truly interested in. And then we were able to leverage that even later throughout the event and target things, promote, post promotion and everything, kind of surrounding some of those key topics they were interested in. Number 2 is behavioral analysis. So you can analyze how attendees interact with different aspects of the event. For example, which sessions are they attending? What booths did they visit? How long did they stay engaged? And you could get feedback from surveys about various sessions or products. And this doesn't just start at the conference. Like, those are good examples of things that you can use in Touchpoint, for instance, gamification, polling, to gather that kind of data. But don't forget, you can start gathering that beforehand too. You can start that journey in the months before. For instance, like, you can utilize the session catalog to publish your sessions. You can allow people to register for sessions beforehand. This feature allows you to promote things in advance, build excitement, get information about the crucial insight about people are actually interested in. There's really practical factors in that, such as like just knowing, do you have the right sessions in the right room? But you can also get a more like insight into what they're really interested in. The right event tech can easily compile all this information and help you analyze it to make sense. Next, number 3 is sentiment analysis. You can analyze the sentiment of the attendee feedback to understand their feelings and attitudes towards your products and services. This doesn't have to be limited to just surveys too. You can use discussion boards, activity feeds, and social media interactions to keep a pulse on what's going on in your attendees' minds. So we've been collecting all that data in different ways. Number 4 is where you start to identify patterns. Look for patterns in that data that indicate strong buyer intent. For instance, attendees who are repeatedly engaging with certain products or services might be closer to making a purchase decision. You know, if they visited a booth 5 times during the course of the show, you know that person really has some intent maybe to make a purchase decision. We use lead retrieval often, not just for our exhibitors, but also for the company's internal reps. So they can also be tracking attendees that they interact with, and noting things about products and interests. And then these leads can even be integrated into the client CRM, and that takes that data even further. So you can really see how you can keep that through your whole MarTech stack. Once you've got all this information, now it's time to take action on it. Like, how do you use that in good ways? So number 5 is targeted marketing. You leverage that data to target the right audience with your marketing efforts. Integration between Certain and Touchpoint and into your company CRM really takes that targeted marketing to the next level. You can also utilize the data in the registration system to target communications. For instance, if you're tracking what sessions they attended, you can follow up with certain groups of people that attended a session with additional information that's really targeted to what they did at the event. Number 6 is personalization. Now, do you remember when personalization really simply meant populating a person's first name into a vast email communication? We've come really far from that. The key to personalization is making the customer feel like you really know them. Now we can use AI to offer personalized recommendations and content to attendees. One exciting thing we're seeing a lot of is using some of that demographic and interest data that you collected in registration to help suggest sessions they might attend, networking events they're interested in, really get them engaged at the conference and give them that feeling like you really know them. And last but not least is number 7, post-event reporting. This one might be one of the least exciting, but yet the most important point of the whole 7 points. You have all this data, and now it's time to turn it into actual gold. Generate comprehensive reports that provide insights into event performance and attendee satisfaction. Continual advancements in things like AI really help make this stuff much easier than it's ever been before to execute and then deliver that information to your key stakeholders. So these 7 steps show how event data can drive strategic decisions and boost engagement, growth, and success.
Thanks, Christina, for going through those and giving such great examples. Looking at each one of these, something has really stood out to us, and that's the distinction between traditional event data, which is primarily focusing on attendance levels, versus the engagement data, which is diving a level deeper. So you're getting things like how attendees interact with your content, how they interact with speakers, and how they interact with each other. What are they actually saying when they're at the event, and what are their engagement patterns? So things of that nature are really important, and again, are diving a level deeper past that traditional event data. Engagement insights, as I just mentioned, go beyond traditional metrics. They're allowing event professionals to gain a clear understanding of who their audience is and what they like. It's really ultimately what you do with that data that will determine its value long after your event has ended. So it's really important that you're A, capturing the right data, and B, that you're doing so at every single event interaction. So what that means is from the moment attendees open your email to registration to downloading the event app and reviewing key content you upload for them, you want to be gathering information. For example, what sessions they attended, did they respond to a poll or a survey question, participate in a badge game, attend a product demo, or if they consumed your content.
This is really interesting, Alex. This slide particularly, as it allows event professionals to get to know their audience a little bit more at each touch point that's highlighted until we gain a clear understanding of who they are and what they like. It's really what you do with the data, though, that will determine its value long after the event has ended.
So we know that the key to turning the data into gold is ultimately getting to know your audience on a deeper level, but how can we get there? There's a lot of talk about AI these days, and we all know that it's supposed to help us work smarter and not harder. But how do we make AI actually work for us when it comes to hosting events?
Oh yeah, AI is the popular topic everywhere these days. But it's not just a tool. It's like a complete game changer when it comes to event data collection and analytics. It empowers us to move from simple data collection to actionable intelligence. The difference you were talking about before between just kind of those attendance metrics and what we can do now, it elevates the entire event experience. So AI automates data collection from various sources, which ensures a richer and more diverse data set. It quickly analyzes data, revealing patterns and trends for real-time data-driven decisions, and it boosts engagement analytics by identifying what resonates with attendees, helping us to tailor future events.
So, as we've said, capturing data at every touch point is important, but of course, it's just a bunch of raw collected data, which is where AI comes in here. It's important to be using the right event technology to make sense of it all. Can your event technology analyze your data to help identify trends, patterns, and areas for improvement across your entire events program? Without the right event technology, event professionals may not be able to make data-driven decisions in real time to help offer great attendee experiences and ultimately boost overall event success. We're excited to bring the benefits of AI to our customers and help them learn from engagement at their events to deliver better outcomes for attendees, sponsors, and exhibitors. So we want everyone to have a better experience. Conversational AI layers on top of that. As we're showing you here, it allows event professionals to go beyond the traditional use of dashboards and reports. With an AI-driven app, you can simply pose a question in plain language to instantly tap into your event insights, and it gives you the ability to go beyond what's on your dashboard. So ultimately, the sky's the limits here. If you make a typo, that's totally fine too. So you can generate reports and charts in seconds. With instant access to actionable insights, you can make faster decisions that can ultimately impact revenue and results. So you might be wondering how you can get this. Well, you can do all of this with Touchpoint Ignite. It's our AI-powered event app designed to transform your audience engagement data into deep audience insights. It captures buying signals before, during, and after the event, and ultimately provides a 360-degree view of audience behaviors that transpire at each stage of your event cycle. So I know we've touched on that a lot, but it really is important to be collecting that information throughout the entirety of the life cycle. The app is integrated with event intelligence and an AI conversational interface that empowers organizations to drive greater revenue and results from the events. So we did want to take this opportunity to open the floor to any questions from our audience. So like I mentioned, go ahead and type those questions into the chat box and we will try and get through all of them one by one. So I'm seeing we have a question for Christina. What are some of the trends you are seeing serving your customers?
Thanks, Alex. Take the first question. One of the biggest trends we're seeing actually feeds right into what we're talking about today. Um, we're seeing so much more than ever the need for the planners and the event team to be able to show our ROI for their events, and not just from money, not just from revenue, not just from any of them, but the full scope of like what the events are bringing, and of course an easy to digest like charts and graphs like we were talking about. So it's like there's so much more than just, I feel like, what they used to be. They're just expected to be able to show so much more information about those things that we're talking about. Not just the metrics, but the sentiments. Are we able to have events and move the people at events from attending events to making real like purchases and increasing sales, or whatever, achieving the whatever metrics are set by the stakeholders in order to prove that every event is worth it. I just feel like they're under so much more pressure to do that, and by having these pieces in place, not just having data and surveys to draw from, but to have actual more measurable data and easy to use something like Touchpoint Ignite to be able to easily get that data back and bring it to the stakeholders. It's such a trend we're seeing, and it's very cool to be able to see that technology is really meeting the need that are coming up for the event professionals.
Thank you. I've noticed that as well. Event professionals are more and more increasingly being held to, how is this event really impacting the business? It's not just about, did everyone have fun? It's about, what is this doing for our overall business? So we're hoping to make that a little easier for everyone. Okay, another audience question. How do we know what questions are best to ask to get the most actionable insights? So we do have some standardized questions that we can, provide to clients to kind of help with that process. And we also have an entire professional services team that can work with you to come up with the best questions based on what you're hoping to achieve. And they can also help kind of optimize that feedback and insights that you're getting from your meetings and conferences. So we definitely can help with that. We have a lot of different tools to assist with that and kind of give you a kickstart into using data more efficiently and effectively. Can we customize the dashboard so that it has the specific data we want on it? So that's a good question. Yes, of course, you can work with the professional services team that I just mentioned, and they can make a completely custom dashboard for you that focuses on what you need. So we showed you some dashboards, but we can also come up with a personalized one that makes more sense for your specific needs. So, okay, I think that's all the time we have for questions. I know we're getting short on time here. So I did just want to wrap up with the right event technology. You can turn your event data into gold and make every event moment count. So using an intelligent event app like Touchpoint Ignite, you can get help with efficiently capturing, analyzing, and transforming your audience engagement data into actionable insights or buyer intent. You're able to gain access to insights at your fingertips and have a 360-degree view of audience insights at every stage of the event and at scale. And ultimately, you're able to make data-driven decisions effortlessly and swiftly with context-rich insights. We really hope that you found today's webinar insightful and valuable. Thank you again to Christina from Attendee Management for joining us here today. Remember that turning event data into gold is ultimately all about leveraging the right event tech and insights. So if you'd like to learn more about Certain and how Attendee Management can help you achieve your event goals, feel free to reach out to us. As I mentioned earlier, you can always reach out to us via our website. Thank you for joining, and we look forward to seeing you at our webinar, or our next webinar. Thanks, everyone. Hope you have a great day.